gathered here today
Indeed.
to uncork into the Cosmic Hutch. The Cosmic Hutch is a portal into this quite surreal and often fairly silly world that we seem to be inhabiting
It's a
here.
wonderland. You guys can't see this, but such a beautiful view, which we will share with you at some stage.
Including
Bullocks.
a load of bullocks at the moment. A journey that began a long time ago, really. That will become apparent and be finely detailed in the book that these podcasts are revving up to, which should manifest towards the end of the year.
That's the plan, anyway.
That's the plan, anyway.
It's a good plan.
And recounting Nina's story from way before we met 30 odd years ago, going right back, and to illustrate an earlier aspect for Nina's life, which some people may not know about, is that she operated the legendary, notorious, infamous puppet Sweep. And we've got an exclusive interview with Sweep as our first star guest coming up later in the shop.
Apart from City Sweep, there was another character in the City series. It was Butch. There he is. Now Butch was a very popular figure, and he used to talk a bit like this. He used to go, "I was Butch, and I talk like that." But he was taken out apparently about 10 years ago, and has been seen very seldom since then, because he was a black dog, and he was a bit of a troublemaker, very pugnacious, and he was taken out when the Brixton riots happened because of his character, and he was taken out before letters came saying, "Why are you portraying a black dog as a troublemaker?" And that's why we never see him anymore. He appeared in the tour, he played the drums briefly for one song, and he appeared in one programme out of the last 13 of last year's series, and that's it. Very sad, but there you go.
So City and Sweep have to keep up with moral and social issues.
I moved here in November, but came here about a year ago now, and I always tell Nina I'd only been here 5 minutes and wanted to just move down here too. I mean, another reason for the Cosmic Hutch thing is because basically my rabbit Loftus was the advance guard. Nina very kindly offered to look after him after he was of no fixed abode.
Homeless bunny.
Yes, so he came here, and obviously where my rabbit goes, I go too, and
Eventually.
And there is a slight reference to a song which I heard Nina singing in the kitchen one day when she was cooking.
Which has been adapted for our theme tune. It's a song by Woodley Research Facility.
Yes.
And this next track is the first release on a new digital label I'm setting up in January alongside Nina Walsh for all things Woodley Research Facility. The site's called Facility 4. It'll be 1 3-track EP a month. This is the first track on EP number 1.
And that brings us to another aspect of activities. I mean, we might act the goat and, you know, let fly with the toilet humour every 10 seconds. I'm only speaking for you.
Thanks. That's allowed.
I'm a serious writer, or as some people like to say, journalist.
A journalist.
A journalist, in fact. And actually,
oh my gosh, look at that book.
I know. It's a bit distracting being here in full with 30 sex-crazed bullocks all going on the rampage
really
down
are,
there.
aren't they? No.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, talking of bullocks...
Utter bullocks.
No, I mean, another aspect I might ramble on about later is June. I'll be celebrating 50 years since I actually became a journalist. Since I could call myself one, but I joined the ranks of the Tame Gazette and did my first interview with David Bowie. He phoned me up at work when he was at Oxford, and I went to see the Aladdin Sane tour that night and saw David, who was very gracious, and he gave me my first exclusive interview. I was at the Tame Gazette, and it was your ultimate Midsummer Murders style local paper, and phone went, "Kris, there's someone for you here on the phone, and he won't say who it is." And I thought, oh no. I've only been there a couple of weeks.
Just been on Crime Watch as well, haven't you?
So I got the phone and "Oh, Kris, it's David Bowie. I'm playing tonight in Oxford. Do you want to come?" So I did. And the previous July, he played our local club Friars, which is for the third time in a couple of years. And that's where Ziggy played the first ever Ziggy gig. He was unveiled, and that's when I really met Bowie. So that was January 72, and then, but in July 72, in those few months, he'd exploded and got really big. When he played in September 71, he hadn't played for a bit, and he was not very well known. He was like a one-hit wonder kind of thing, but he went down so well with our club. He said, before he left, he said to me, "Oh, I'm going to come back here, and when I do, I'm going to be totally different."
You're not wrong.
He had long blonde hair then, and a floppy hat and culottes.
And that's when he came back as Ziggy.
Yeah, following January.
Fantastic.
And I walked in the dressing room at that one, and he just went, "I told you." Because he was sitting there in a carrot top and putting his makeup on. Compared to that night when he was all buoyant and everything was good, and Mick Ronson was picking up his gold lame jumpsuit, and he said, "I'm not fucking wearing that." But then he wore it, and he had half the female audience in the dressing room afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, okay then."
I'll wear that.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be fucking right up my leg. This is ridiculous. Where's the other armhole? Trouble is, where's the bell end?
Right,
Where's the pink bit gone though? My helmet.
right, there's another arm.
Where?
There.
There. I've got a massive pair of bollocks around here.
How the fuck is...
Hang on, I don't want to fuck it up again. Feasibly like testicles.
And there it is.
Never had bollocks growing out. So yeah, next month it'll be 50 years since that meeting with David, and you know, I still think about him. He was a very special. I mean, it's easy to say this about people, but he really was. And it's fair to say that I kind of fell in love with him in some way.
I think a lot of men did.
They
didn't
did.
They?
You know, not, but a different kind.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, as you grow older, you realise there's loads of different kinds of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, David, he just loved him, you know, and the fact he was just a really nice bloke, you know, and it broke my heart when he passed away. And it's just weird now because I get called up to deliver these kind of memory things about him. And I wouldn't say I was his best mate, but for a couple of years I was in his orbit. Yeah, you know, I quite happily ramble about Bowie because I think he deserves it, and we have, you know, he's over there.
All right, Dave.
Pictured at a 1980s gig, I believe. You never really got struck by him, did you? Because you.
Well, the times you're talking about now, I was 2 years old, so
that's right.
David wasn't really on my radar at that point. Andrew introduced me really to the world of Ziggy.
Do you know, one story I heard, and I can't remember who wrote this, but apparently Andrew would walk around with Rock and Roll Suicide on his Walkman on repeat.
I've never seen Andrew with a Walkman on, actually.
Oh.
No, he was much happier tuned in to what was actually going on around him. I'm sure he had a good go at looking like Ziggy at some stage, though.
Yes. Did he try and... Because, I mean, obviously we all tried to look like Bowie, but I gave up. You know, it's much easier to try and look like Keith Richards back then. You know.
And now.
Do you think this thing that you tried to look like your idols, I've only just thought of Andrew doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have told me the Jim Morrison story.
I have told you the Jim Morrison story.
Would you like to tell it again?
Well, he wasn't trying to look like Jim Morrison. He was Jim Morrison.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference, yeah. And I think he was actually supposed to be DJing. The decks got abandoned. The leather kecks came out, the jumper came off, and there he was, Jim Morrison. And I was gone. I think I was hiding in a bass bin somewhere from Jim. I think I tried to look like Kirk Brandon for a while, but...
That was going to be my next question. So who did you try to emulate?
It was nearly always boys. You know, myself and Anna Haig.
Yes.
We'd get more and more severe with our quiffs. They started off as sort of rockabilly quiffs, and then bits would start getting snipped off the side until eventually we just shaved the sides. And
the rockabilly look.
Yeah, we went a bit kind of sort of psychobilly a bit. Not so much King Kurt, although Anna's did get a bit ridiculous at one point. In fact, she grew these sideburns. She shaved the hair and then kept a bit like this sort of skinhead girls.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for a laugh, she would sort of wax them up each nostril. So we were kind of unique. We were adapting our style. But yeah, we went and got the fawn jackets and tried to look like Spear of Destiny for a while and Restless sometimes.
Is that what they wore? Because I have to confess I didn't follow them
Yeah,
around.
it was all black Levi's and those sort of fawn
Right.
sort of jackets. House Martins used to wear them, and like Harrington sort of
Oh, yeah.
style things.
That was really...
Which actually wasn't as good as the original sort of 50s rockabilly look, which you can always go back to. It doesn't matter how old you get. I think the rockabilly look still holds up.
I was afraid to close my eyes. For 3 nightmare nights of pure sleepless horror. It was like the baddest trip. That first night, I lay in bed, and every time I shut my eyes to go to sleep, it was like a cerebral movie camera being turned on in my eyelids. It could start quite innocently, like a woodland brook, but within seconds, they would start appearing as my heart thudded mercilessly like a metronome. but stopping occasionally.
Hello, Sweep. It's an honour to meet you. Where have you been hiding for the last 30 years? Nando's. Are you aware of the power you have to reduce men of a certain age to a quivering state of awe? From The Clash to all friends of mine. And now you're returning to people's screens as a podcast superstar. You must hear a lot of music being with Nina all the time, Sweep. That was very nice. So, you know we've got some exciting things coming up too. Well, there's this podcast, and this is the first one, and you're the star. And then there's going to be Nina's book, which I'll be writing. I'm finishing one on Motorhead, and then I'll be writing... I knew you liked them. And then I'll be writing Nina's book, and you're in that too, from your days when you first met. And there'll be a lot of very exciting music coming up too, Sweet. Yeah. Well, thank you, Sweep. Again, it's been a pleasure to meet you, especially back in action on such fine form. Any last message for the viewers? Ah, sausages. Well, some things never change, Sweep. I've got a sausage right here. Here's your friend Binky. Well, shall I get out my sausage? Oh no! Oh no, what's going to happen? Luckily, I had another sausage. Thank you, sweet. Thank you. I've interviewed some people in my time. You name it, Keith Richards, Bob Marley, David Bowie, but I think that has to rank there up among them, don't you? If not beyond. Thank you very much. Sausages? Sausages.